What do I read? How are you? Welcome to a new episode. I'm very happy because this is now my, let's see, 8th episode? If I'm not mistaken, 7th. Every time I record an episode, one learn a lot more about myself, about editing, about how this works, and I think that each time the topics get deeper, more intense, and I like that. I like it a lot. I have so many ideas, so many things that I want to talk to you about. Other than that, it makes this very entertaining. Today we are going to talk about time, and not the weather, the climate, but the time it takes to transform or change something in our lives. If you are in your 20s, you will have realized that when you want to start something, a project, study, learn, do anything, we feel that urgency for things to happen quickly, to obtain results immediately. And it becomes frustrating for us who want to change something in ourselves, in our life, to start a project. For example, if you are a person who is starting to exercise or changing your diet or healing something in trauma, whatever you are trying to do, you realize that it takes time to get any results. And lately I've been thinking a lot about time because I've learned a lot about it. Today I'm looking at it differently, and it all started when one day I was telling my dad how I'd been friends with my best friend for 11 years, and my dad told me how I was thinking and said like, "Oh, how fed up, but not my son, it's nothing." And since he's not going to do anything, it's been 11 years, it's like a lifetime, and he tells me I've been friends with Juanito X for 40 years, and I'm like, in reality I haven't experienced anything. I mean, I think that was my first wake-up call, as my concept of time is very small because I haven't experienced anything yet. Well, I feel like when you're in your 20s, you're literally just starting to live, you're just learning the times. You realize that time goes by, that you grow, that the years go by faster every day, and moreover we have that desire to start projects or change things in ourselves. I don't know, we start doing things in life and it can generate a lot of frustration. Not understanding time or not having a broader perspective of it, even though we don't have the experience. So, that's what I want to talk about in this episode, because I have learned to see time in a different way, and it is only by observing adults, listening to what they say. For example, the other day I was having a conversation with my dad, and I think he was asking him how he managed or saved for the house and things like that. And he began to tell me that he made an annual plan, that he made savings goals and objectives and things like that, but he projected himself 1 year from now. And that surprised me because at that time I was thinking on a monthly basis. A month from now, how much can I save, or a month from now what can I make? And that kind of expanded my mind a little and made me question myself. What's the point of my dad projecting himself a year from now as if 1 year were nothing? At that moment for me, a year was like, in 1 year I have to do too many things and I am not a failure, and he projected his goals to a year. That made me realize that I had a very small perspective on time. And I don't know, suddenly my parents also say like, "Oh, it seems like it was yesterday when you were born," and I'm 22 years old, I'm going to turn 23. Then I realize that they have lived a lot and that the years no longer take it as a long time, but rather they see it as nothing. After reflecting over time, I began to look at my life and realized that I have always projected myself into a year. But in a year I want to do too many things, and I think extremely big, as if a year were a lifetime. And it turns out that at the end of the year I realized that I did not achieve absolutely everything that I was setting out to do, and it is not that I have not tried, but that many things happened in the process. It made me realize that things were going to take me longer, and you could say that I only have 4 years to live. Because once you leave school or university to whatever it may be, you just begin to learn about life because you are alone, you have to start making decisions, you have to start creating your life. So once you leave school or leave university, you just begin to learn about yourself, manage your time, set priorities, start projects, start things, and set your goals and things like that. But obviously not everyone does that, but hey, if you're listening to this podcast, chances are you're like me. The most likely thing is that you are starting something and it can generate frustration not having results immediately, and it has happened to me. It has happened to me a lot that I am trying something literally, sometimes a week goes by and I feel frustration like I have no results, I am not seeing anything. It has happened to me before that I feel like giving up and I start to procrastinate and I start to leave things aside because I don't know why I don't have the patience to finish something, and this is more common than we think. And it can apply to people of all ages. But if you are in your 20s or your 30s or well, it doesn't matter if you have it and you are trying to start something, transform something in your life and you want to look at time in a way that benefits you and well, what I am going to talk about is going to be useful for me as well as for you who are starting something. This is something extremely important to internalize because it has helped me a lot to learn about time and see it differently because I am young and I have practically not experienced anything. So it becomes frustrating when you want to start something and you have an idea that it is going to take a little time and it turns out that things are not like that. Everything takes time and practicing patience is also extremely important because if you are in your 20s, if you are from my generation, you grew up with everything fast, everything instantaneous. During the day everything is instantaneous, you need to find an answer is at your fingertips, you want to calculate something is there on your cell phone, you want to learn how to do something. You watch a video and we can see our impatience reflected, for example when you are watching a YouTube video and an advertisement appears that lasts 5 seconds and you are already wanting to skip the advertisement because you want to see the video and not. It lasts 5 seconds because it's already a lot and now everything is fast. If you are on TikTok, the video after video, everything fast, everything practical, so it is very easy to not have patience when it comes to something that takes time. You have to be realistic when you start exercising and you want to either lose weight or gain muscles or make some change in your body. It is not fast, only in the 3rd month do you begin to see the first results, and this happens in different things in our lives. I believe that time is perfect and we must respect it, we must learn from it and not get impatient but rather realize that time is in our favor and everything takes time, and if we do not learn from it. Just because you didn't see results immediately you can generate frustration, you can think that you are doing something wrong but that is not the case. Everything involves a process of evolutionary change, even we are constantly changing, we are transforming slowly but progressively. This year I started in a very different way than the previous ones. I started detached from the result. I said, I'm going to take things ahead of time, I'm going to take a break, a vacation, enjoy every day and let the answer to what I had to do was going to come sooner or later, and it's been a while since I had taken a vacation and I had been doing it every day, getting up early, studying, reading a book, always being proactive, changing something about myself, and that made me very anxious about time because I felt like if I did anything I was wasting my time, and taking that moment to rest and relax made me let go of that control because we try to control time and time cannot be controlled, it is something that is going to happen the same. And if you are trying to do a project, transform something in your life, start something, you will realize that since we want to control time and have results as quickly as possible, we are going to overdemand ourselves, we are going to want to set a lot of goals in a day and try to give our best. Wants to improve, wants to be better, then the most likely thing is that it happens to you just like it does to me, that we want to do something and we don't overexert ourselves, and that at the end of the day ends up causing us a lot of frustration, exhaustion, and when we don't see results we get disappointed, we are tired, we are overloaded with things because we want to do everything at once, and on top of that there are no results. So what happened? What are we doing wrong in time? And lately I have really done very little, to be honest with you. How I started to give myself this space to look at my life and the things that I wanted to do, and among many things that have happened to me I started to look at what I wanted to do, and one day I decided, I said, what, I don't want to waste time being scattered doing everything I can in millions of things but not getting any results, because last year it happened to me that I did a lot of things, I tried very hard, I set out a lot of project schedules and things, but at the end of the year I had not obtained any results. I realized that I was still in the same place because obviously life is like that. Sometimes you want something and it does not turn out as you expect, so that's when I felt great disappointment because I felt that I had not managed to advance to where I wanted. So that's when I started to look at my life. I started to question things about what I had done wrong, and I realized that I had not set a clear goal and I had not taken intelligent actions, accepting the time in an organized way and focused on what I was doing, because I tried many things. I started one thing, later I left another one, and I started like that, and it's okay. I mean, we have that desire to start many projects, but if we don't have an internal clarity of what we want without having a long-term focus, in the end we give up. So this year I started to question what I wanted to do, and I said, what? I'm going to do one thing and I'm going to force myself and I'm going to put my all into it for a year and I'm going to organize myself, I'm going to put focus on it and I'm going to really give it my all, and well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work out, but at least I will have tried, because I think that sometimes we are disappointed in ourselves because we know what we want to do but we don't do it well. We do the minimum because sometimes we have mental limitations, we believe that we don't deserve or that we are not capable. Sometimes we don't have enough confidence and any situation can bring us down. A lot has happened to me. I speak from my own experience. With my YouTube channel, it has taught me a lot to prioritize what I really want to do. I was doing it then, as I started to lose that why I am doing it, I didn't have much focus, and well, I have had a lot of experience, I have sacrificed and I have done many things to find myself, and well, if you have seen my previous video of the psychedelic anguitos or well magical anguitos, because I don't think they are psychedelic, but well, I consumed anguitos and I did that experience with the purpose of obtaining clarity in what I wanted to do. I wanted to find why I do what I do, why I get up in the mornings, why persist and do all this that we have to do as humans, because I was really in an existential crisis. Why earn money, why get up in the morning, why do everything we do, and it was in that experience that I felt so calm, so much presence. I knew myself a lot because I recorded a blog, and while I was speaking out loud I realized that I loved it. It was like there were no mental limitations, there were no those walls that limit us from doing. It was like I was totally my real self, my pure personality at that moment, without caring what others thought. In fact, I was recording myself. I was crying and I was in public and it didn't matter to me, and I said I know that it doesn't matter to me that they see me cry, that they see me like that, all strange talking strange things. It doesn't matter to me at that moment, and I was able to know myself deeply and also know what was inside me at that moment. I felt a desire to talk to people, to approach them and tell them important things, to help them transform their life, because I was feeling and experiencing a very beautiful life at that moment, like what I already experienced, but at a level 10. So like I felt this desire to approach people and talk to them, and talking was like a very great feeling. I felt very good, very me, and that was when I realized this is my thing. For a reason I am doing this, and it has a much deeper reason than simply earning money, dedicating myself in the end to transmitting a message to people that helps them in the end, is a mission for the love of humanity, to evolution, to growth, to people, and I am dedicating myself to that. I think that when you follow your passion, or more than passion, I think that I was not clear that it was a passion, but that it was a part of my innate speaking, sharing, giving oneself vision, giving love, giving light. I think it is a natural part of me. I do it without thinking about it. Sometimes I am talking to a friend and my friend needs help and I can spend hours talking. Super dedicated, super willing to help him, because I don't know, I'm passionate about it and I don't know why, but I'm like that. So that's when I got clarity of I wasn't crazy, that I hadn't invented this thing about making videos, that it was important to me. I don't know, it was just like that's who I am and it comes easily to me, it's more natural, so this is what I'm going to do. I got that clarity that it was my mission in the end. Well, if you want to see the experience live, I invite you to go to my YouTube channel and watch the video, because it's quite deep. If you're listening to this on Spotify, I'll leave the link in the description, and if you're watching it on YouTube, well, I'll leave it there. I also decided at that moment that I wanted to live in nature, to reach a point in my life where I feel how I felt at that moment, in peace, present, free, totally me, and in nature. I said that's what I want, nothing more, and live in my own space, live in my own house or apartment where I have my own place where I can be myself and be calm. That's what I want, nothing more. And there it was like, that's who. Then if it's worth all the work, all the effort you make, is worth it if you do it for yourself in the end, not for other people, not because you fit in or because the world tells you that. No, in the end, I think the most powerful thing in any action is to make a decision for yourself out of self-love. I think that's why many people try to do things, but the reason why they are doing those things is not deep enough to persist and give it your all, and that's why it's important to look inward, know yourself, and do everything you can to find those answers within yourself, because you won't find it anywhere else. Give yourself the time to try and do millions of things and fail. That's super important. You don't have to take it as something negative to change and try something and not finish it. Those things are fundamental. That is, if I looked back at all the things that I have done and that I have not finished, I realized that they were not failures, but rather they were experiences that helped me learn and realize what I did not want, because to know what you want, you have to know what you don't want, and try a lot of things, do a lot of things, fail, try and keep trying, and those moments where we feel frustration, that I haven't gotten anywhere, I don't know what I want, I don't know what I have to do because I have felt like this many times, but in those moments it is essential to make a decision. That is where you say which path I take. I go for the safe one or the comfortable one, or I keep trying, I keep persisting, I keep trying, I keep learning and heading down the path that will take me sooner or later to where I want, but it does it out of love, for I know that I deserve more. I know that I deserve to be in a better place. Good. And all that super motivational talk is also important because the time it takes us to do something is how it is going to happen, or that is, it doesn't matter if you start, whether you like it or not, whether you're passionate about it or not, it's going to take you time, but it's much easier to accept the time that things take when it comes out of love or from self-love or from what's good for you, that is, for you. Your energy's in it because it does not have a powerful background. That is important. Very important to find something that really gives you fuel, because if not you are going to stop halfway and everything you have done will not have been a waste of time. But at the same time, no. I mean, everything is necessary, so it is yes and no, both things. You have to internalize that everything takes time and that the process of things is perfect, and we can see this in nature. For example, a plant. If you have had a plant and you have cared for them and seen them since little girl, since sister seed or whatever it is, you will realize that at first it takes a long time to grow. Even so, you see it growing from time to time. I don't know, 5 days pass and you realize, oh, it grew, but it is a slow and progressive process and you cannot force a plant to grow. The plant will grow in the correct environment if it has water, soil, and light, and you cannot overload the plant with light or water so that it grows faster, because it will either go home or burn. And that happens the same with us when we are motivated to do something, to start a business, project or a goal or anything you want to do. We are so motivated at the beginning to do it quickly, and we want to control the time it takes us to have results, that we begin to appreciate how we try to do too many things and force and control the change in ourselves. We do not stagnate throughout life. We have to have a balance. If it is important that you achieve it, your objectives, your goals, and everything that you want to do is important. It is great that you are totally motivated, but also respect your life. And here comes the look at how long things take. Everything takes time. Your evolution, your results, everything what you are going to do in life, everything you start takes time, and doing more things in a day is not going to make you advance faster. I watch a lot of videos of entrepreneurial people. I really like business evolution, change. I am passionate about the change of evolution. I love it. In my free time I see things like that. I see those things on YouTube. So you are listening to a person who said the key to success: work intelligently and not excessively. Here the advice is to do 3 things in one day that really move your life forward. 3 fundamental priorities to advance in your life and be closer to your goal, of your dream, of whatever you want. And to those 3 things dedicate your total time, focus, and dedication. I have been doing this for a while and it really was as if it has worked for me. It has worked for me much more. It is more practical. I am working intelligently with my time instead of saturating myself with things to take advantage of the time. I am being intelligent with how I invest my time and what things I invest my time. Take section or don't take section, time is going to happen the same, and that clashes because it doesn't matter if you do it or you don't. Time is going to pass anyway. Look back and tell it while the time did pass. For example, when we were in quarantine it felt eternal at that moment. I really felt that the days were eternal. Anyway, I enjoyed the quarantine a lot because I did a lot of things, but there was also that frustration of wanting to get out, of wanting to live, and I felt like, how long is this going to take? How long are we going to be locked up? And it was frustrating, and it was frustrating, and it was frustrating, and it was terrible. Everything returned more or less to normal, and he looked back and that moment was already gone. It is not going to come back. And I also think how many things I could have started if I knew everything I know today, and not having stopped I might have been in another place today. So think about those things that if you want to do and that you started or did not finish. When you exercise, you set the goal of changing your physique and you left it voted. You stopped exercising. What would have happened if you had not stopped? And look, okay, these analyses are good because it makes us think that it is important to do something, persist, have patience and trust in the process, and not stop, knowing that things take time to have a result. But I also believe that everything takes learning. That is, it is important to fail to realize what we could have done better, because if you never fail, if you never give up, if you never do something wrong, where are you going to learn from? An idea that has helped me a lot to see time differently is to look at nature. For example, an apple tree, so that fresh apples 5 years have to pass since that apple tree is planted. 5 years, and in those 5 years you have to water it, give it light, take care of it, and be persistent. Do not abandon your tree because you are not seeing growth. You trust the process and you realize and know very well that it is going to take time, but one day the 5 years will pass and the apple tree will bear its fruit and you will be able to eat those Fruits sell those fruits and it will have been worth waiting 5 years. I always think about that when I feel frustrated at not seeing results because every process in us in our life until the smaller aspects take time. For example, our own evolution. We as people transform something in ourselves, a habit for a habit to just produce results. It has to take time, we have to be perseverant. We have to give it every day, and one day it will be natural. You are not going to think about it, you are not going to try to control the result, leading to that habit. You are not going to force the tree to bear fruit faster because you can't. The law of nature says no. It takes approximately 5 years. And another example that I really liked is bamboo. I didn't know that bamboo, when if you plant it, it takes 7 years to just give a sprout, if 7 years to see that the bamboo has grown. The curious thing is that in those 7 years the bamboo is generating roots, it is growing downwards to be strong and nourish itself well, and when it is 7 years old, when the bamboo is just starting to grow, it is super fast and grows in an impressive way. In fact, it grows so fast that you can see the bamboo in person while it is growing. In other words, it is like the growth skyrockets after 7 years, but first it was forming roots, it was there clinging to the ground, nourishing itself, and then the growth was rapid, and that also serves as an example for me personally, at least, as okay, first I have to plant my roots well in myself, in my mind, in learning processes, habits, and forming my fundamental bases for or as the fundamental pillars of my life, that when I reach that moment where I start to have results I already have my roots well established, and it is very difficult to tear myself down because I have already planted my roots and nothing can tear me down. But to get to that I have to go through the transformation to become that person that I aspire to be. Lately I have learned that it is important to be clear about what you are going to do and put an action plan, discipline, and projection into that project because you want to do something. Okay, what? How do you get there? What do you need to do? Describe everything, absolutely everything you need to do, and be objective, be realistic. And how long will it take me to learn this or do this, and separate it by processes for months. This month I am going to focus on this, and in a week get organized. I have to do this other, and so on, and on one day I have to do this other, and little by little things are coming together and you are moving forward, because you will not be able to move forward if you do not have a clear objective and an organization and a discipline that complements it. And I have learned this very recently. I have had to fail, I have had to start, finish, and do a lot of things to just realize that you have to take things seriously, you have to be disciplined and persistent, and even though there is a day when you do not feel like doing the same. And also one thing that has helped me is to create an objective 5 years from now, to set goals and clear objectives. It is easier to take action because if you do actions day by day thinking that a result is going to appear out of nowhere, you are not going to get anywhere, and it is also easier to become demotivated. Today I have created an action plan for 5 years from now, to a year from now, to a month, and really being clear about what I have to do is something that relieves me a lot, because I know what I have to do, and it is good to have patience to work on it. I believe that everything takes time and everything has a process. You as a person and your projects, they also have to go through a perfect process. A process where you have to learn what doesn't work, what works, and keep a record of yourself and what you're doing, or what I know you're doing. You have to say, oh, look, I've been here for a while and it's doing this, but I really feel like maybe I don't like it or it's not working, and see the results, be objective about what I was doing, and give it a realistic look, and say what it could be to improve this, and improve and update yourself, and keep trying and keep doing and trying and persist on a path. In a way, with focus, with patience, with clear steps. In my experience, I left the university, and since then I have started my own path. I am the owner of my destiny. In the end, I am not at this moment studying anything traditional at the university. All the projects and all the things that I am doing, learning, come from me, from my discipline, from my desire to do things. That is, there is no one who is telling me what do, and for some it can be very challenging, very difficult, because there is no one who is telling you what to do. It is you who has to know what to do or learn in the process. And in all this time I have done a lot of things. I have started something, I have finished something, I have done a lot of things. I think it is important not to get depressed when we don't have results, because all those failures were fundamental for me. I looked back and I didn't realize that absolutely everything I experienced unfolded perfectly. The time it took me to realize things was perfect. No, I can tell you the opposite. Just as I regret it, I should have done this, and it is wrong that I did not persist in this, as I did not know before. Not everything that has happened to me, all my failures, All the things I have experienced have been perfect for today to finally realize what I should do and have a focus and start working on it day by day and persist and not look back and give it and give it and give it even though I don't have the results I want at this moment, but I know it will work because I have faith in it. Process. I know what I am doing. I have learned for so long, so many years that I have been studying and learning a lot of things to find my way. In the end, I think that is what we are all doing, and it does not matter where you are at this moment, if you are at university or if you are at school, if you are working, whatever you are doing, everything we do has a purpose, and in those moments where we feel at a critical point it gives us that existential crisis, those moments are also important because that is where you make a decision you choose for yourself or for other people or out of fear. That defines the character too. You realize immediately what kind of person you are because difficult situations are going to happen the same way. Yes, they are going to happen the same way. Unfortunately, I don't want to go to another difficult situation. Sincerely, I want to be well, I want to be happy, but I know that life is like that. When you least expect it, things happen to you, that terrible things break your heart, you get disappointed in yourself. I don't know, there are times when one day I wake up and feel bad for no reason, and I have to learn from that. I have to learn from myself. Those moments are necessary because they make us make a decision. I follow the path I want, I keep choosing myself, or I give up and live from the fear of insecurity or what others want me to do. Every day you have that ability to decide, and above all in those critical moments are to give us a sign of something that is not also in our lives, or maybe they are a learning experience simply to become truly stronger. I have experienced super painful things. Even though they were terrible, I look back and say it was totally necessary because today without that experience I would not be who I am, and I would not be doing what I do today the way I do it today, and I have a vision of myself of what I want to be in the future. And even though sometimes we want to control that process, that change in us every day, I learn that everything has its perfect time. Everything starts, finish, fails, redirect, everything is perfect. The only important thing is that you are clear about who you are. What are your values? What is important to you? In fact, that is the fundamental thing. Whatever you are doing or starting, you have to know who you are and what you want in your life in the future. If you are going to invest so much time in starting something, you have to know why you are doing it. What is that deep reason that leads you to force yourself? Because if you do not have a strong enough, powerful enough reason, you will not persist in it, and then you will feel bad because you failed, even though it will have been totally necessary to learn that failure. But if you do not want to fail, and that at this moment you are totally determined to do things well and determinately and with focus, I clarify why. In anything you are starting and clear who you are and your values. For example, what is important to you in your life in the future? Nature, your family, traveling, work, creating, talking, sharing your friends. Be clear about your priorities, and I am already clear about what I want in the future. Even though I do not know exactly what is going to happen in my life, but I am clear about where I want to go, and the efforts and everything I do and what I invest my time in will be to take me there. And it's not like I'm magic and I discovered all this naturally, coincidentally. There are people who have always known it, and there are people who have to force themselves to find those answers, and that's why it's important to know what it is that you don't want, to try a lot of things. And in those moments where you enjoyed your life the most, who were they with? What are you doing? Where do you feel most yourself? For example, I need to live in nature. I want to give everything to my family. I want to be able to be free in every sense, to be able to go to eat wherever I want, to be financially free, to be able to give a great gift to my family, my friends, the people I most want to give opportunities to, take my family or my friends or whoever I want on a trip, to be able to change a person's life. To be able to travel the world, to be able to see millions of places. That is what I want most. It doesn't matter how long it takes me to get there. It is my only path, so that is why I am totally determined. Even if I fail and things don't work out for me, I will still achieve the life of my dreams, because here you have to ask how much your dreams are worth, what you want, your happiness, your peace, your person. Because if it is not worth that much, it is not necessary to sacrifice anything. But if it is really important for you, it is better to make it difficult today so that it is easy tomorrow, or do what is easy today and what is difficult tomorrow. That is your decision. I want to make it difficult today and live easy tomorrow. I want to live peacefully, have a lot of time to live and enjoy, because I believe that the most valuable thing is time, because time does not return, the past and the future do not exist. You will have a memory of the past and you will have an idea of the future, but the only thing that exists is the present, and what I do will determine your future and that will generate a past. For you, that is, today you are creating the past and you are creating the future. The present is the most important thing. Use your time well, your present, today, your actions, what you do, and you should not look down on all those small actions that we do, such as reading a book, watching a video, listening to a podcast like this, or looking inward, meditating, writing down our thoughts, writing down our goals, all those small actions, those moments, that time that you take perhaps to rest when you needed to go for a walk, to exercise, that will generate a future for you, a long-term transformation. Every hour of the day we can invest it intelligently. I believe that we must be aware of time and decide clearly in an intelligent way, accept the process, accept the time that change takes, also detach yourself from the result, because I believe that detaching yourself from the result is the best way in which we can accept the time that things take. If you enjoy the process, the present moment of doing the actions that you do, you are on another level, because we are living today, not tomorrow. That is, tomorrow you are going to live maybe or maybe not, but today you are alive. Then if you have already worked, you have all your things and you forced yourself and you gave your best and you want to go for a walk, you want to get together with your friend to live the life, enjoy it, you are alive today. I personally am not in favor of overexploiting yourself and not giving you life, like resting or going out and things like that. I think that it is important to sacrifice things when it comes to your goal. If you want to achieve something, I think that everything entails some kind of sacrifice. For example, at this moment I am fully concentrated on my projects. I am fully concentrated on making this podcast, and having a podcast and doing everything I am doing to grow and reach more people is a lot of work. It requires a lot of time, and it happens to me personally that even though I have this goal and I want to do it and I have everything clear, sometimes I'm at my desk, my stomach hurts because I sit for a long time and I feel this need to go out, to live, and I'm there working, editing, and doing all these things that I know that even though I'm putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, it's not going to have the immediate result that I want. That is, I have to accept the sacrifice of the effort and time that I have to invest to get something forward, even though I'm not going to get anything changed, but they're on track. It's worth the investment because I have a vision, I have a projection, and in those moments where I can't take it anymore, there are moments when my stomach and my head hurt. Because I'm looking at a screen all day. I mean, at this moment I need to walk, I need to go out for a walk. Many adults say that we have to enjoy our 20s and go out and travel, and that we are young and that we just have to enjoy ourselves, and we realize that, okay, we want to do that but we don't have how, we have to get ahead, we have to earn that life. It's not that easy because there are many responsibilities, there are many things that you want to change in your life. You want independence, you want to live alone, you want to have your money, to be able to travel around the world and earn those things with your effort, and to do that you have to work and make an effort and achieve something in your life. So I personally made the decision not to live that life of enjoyment and going out and on the road and friends and things like that, because I want to have an excellent future, a wonderful future, and I know that it is going to take time, but you can still enjoy the little things, even though you are trying hard and you have to sacrifice friendships, events, or things like that. It is important to sacrifice your time but also respect your health, your mental health, and the things that make you happy, because, well, here at night I wonder if I died today and didn't wake up tomorrow, I would feel proud of today, I would die happy, and sometimes I say, I wouldn't die very happy because I worked all day and I didn't do anything that filled my heart, and that can be something very small. Sometimes just having enjoyed my morning and having taken the time to think or to discover something about myself or connect, to watch a movie or talk to myself, family, to see seen the sky, to see hear a bird, to see walking, to see busy, any of those fill me, even though I have been working all day. So we can still take actions that make us happy. I believe that happiness is in simple things, and I have also felt much happier and much more stable when I am persevering in my dreams, when I take actions, when I work, when I study, when I move, when I get moving. Because if I am stuck and I don't know what doing and I'm not doing anything is where it's worst, I feel, because I feel there like a failure, because I don't see myself truly growing. That when you choose for your self-love, I deserve to get ahead, I deserve this life that I want, and you start taking actions for it, it's going to feel very good. And if what you're doing doesn't feel good, it's because it's not for you. Don't force things that don't feel good. Because your purpose, the things that belong to you, should feel easy or natural or satisfying. Because not everything is easy in the cool life, everything that I am also doing. There are things that are difficult, but I can do them. I don't get frustrated, because I am interested. I am thinking day and night about it, and I think it is important that if it is in your mind 24/7, it is because it is for you. It is because it is your path, your purpose. If you have to force yourself because it catches your attention or gives it interest, that is not aligned with you, and it is easy to recognize something that is not for you, because what feels good is for you and what feels wrong, it's not for you. That's it, simple. And this is for everything in life: friends, situations, places, jobs, activities, whatever you imagine, because sometimes we are too rational. I have done many things from the mind to earn money, for the approval of others. I have done many things, and when I failed I learned, I realized, it was not for me, and now I think about it and I say if it had worked out for me, it would have been terrible because it was not for me. It was not going to fulfill me, it was going to generate more for me frustration. Then they think that, if you do well at something, you would enjoy it, you would feel good about it, you would feel proud, or it would be something terrible. I know, and I ask myself this too, because sometimes we can all fall into doing things that we know very well if they are for us, but we still do them for the right reason. We have to know the reason why we do what we do, be clear about who we are, what our priorities are, why we do what we do, and make decisions for us, not for someone else, not for the world, not for society, not for your family, not for you. It is the only thing that you are really going to dedicate all your soul, your mind, your heart, your energy, your intelligence. You are going to give everything for yourself. If you have already built that self-love, that self-confidence, and believe me, if you still don't learn that, we are a little difficult to learn things. Really, life is going to throw situations at you one year again, until you make the decision to go down the path that is good for you, of authentically, not like, okay, I'm going to start doing things for myself, and I already know things, like mentally thinking that you are doing it for yourself, but really, it is what you think you have to do, but it doesn't exist. But no, there is one. I don't know how to explain it. I feel that when you know something, you just know it, inside your heart, your soul. It's like there are no doubts, it's clear as day. If you do it from love, I deserve it. For example, I started to think, I deserve to be successful, I deserve to have a place in the world where people listen to me, I deserve to earn money, I deserve to be happy, I deserve to feel peace, I deserve to have friends who are aligned with who I am. I deserve all this, and I had to program it every day in me, and I continue to do it. It is something that does not allow me to do it, until I start taking actions that were aligned with that base, from abundance. That is important, taking actions from abundance, from love. Self, that is the only thing that is going to make you persist and move forward and take actions and see yourself. Make it impossible to overcome your own limitations, your own limits. And surprise yourself with what you are capable of, what you are capable of doing for yourself, because everything that comes with self-love is incredible and fabulous and abundant. Otherwise you are only going to repeat the cycle, and you are going to continue suffering in life, and the universe are going to continue sending you situations, so that you learn that. And suddenly you can be super well in a while, and one day you forget and you start doing things the other way around, and the universe is going to be, you forget, look, I send you this situation, and suddenly it is like it wakes you up, and tells you, or yes, right, I have to redirect myself to the path where I was. For that accepts the process, the time, the effort. Everything that happens in your life is perfect, as long as you continue to have that intention to move forward. The good things, the bad things, the difficult things, everything is necessary, everything is going to happen. Enjoy as much as you can today in the present with the things that you know, that matter most to you, and ask yourself every night, would you die happy? Today, and always tomorrow you can take different actions, and you can improve, and you can change. Every day is an opportunity to redirect yourself to the life that you want, and the life that you want, it depends on you. So that has been all for today. I hope you liked this episode, that it has been useful to you. I invite you to go to my other social networks so that you can continue there. If you want to see the podcast in video, I recommend that you go to my YouTube channel. There I upload each episode in full form of video. And if you are watching this podcast on video, I recommend that you go to Spotify or Apple Podcast, and you want to participate in new episodes. I recommend that you go to the Instagram of the podcast Aroka La Libra. There I am always asking questions, surveys, and meetings that I am doing on Discord. I hope you go extremely well, all the best to you, bye bye.